Did you know that some of the most fluent English speakers in the world never had a conversation partner when they were learning? In fact, research shows that 73% of successful language learners spend more time practicing alone than with others. If you've been telling yourself that you can't improve your English speaking without someone to talk to, you're about to discover why that's completely wrong. What I'm going to share with you today will completely change how you think about language learning. And by the end of this video, you'll have 5 proven techniques that professional speakers use to master English without ever needing another person in the room. Here's something that might shock you. The belief that you need a conversation partner to improve your English speaking is one of the biggest myths in language learning. Think about it for a moment. When actors prepare for a role, do they wait for their co-stars to rehearse their lines? When musicians learn a new song, do they need a full band to practice? Of course not. They practice alone, perfecting their craft before they ever step on stage. The same principle applies to learning English, and today you're going to learn exactly how to do it. What makes this even more interesting is that practicing alone actually gives you advantages that speaking with others doesn't. When you practice by yourself, you can focus entirely on your pronunciation without feeling embarrassed about mistakes. You can repeat difficult sounds as many times as you need without worrying about taking up someone else's time. You can work on specific areas where you struggle without the pressure of keeping up with a conversation. This is why many language experts actually recommend solo practice as the foundation of speaking improvement. Let me tell you about the first myth that's holding back millions of English learners right now. They believe that speaking alone is completely useless. This couldn't be further from the truth. When you speak English out loud by yourself, your brain starts building the neural pathways necessary for fluent speech. Every time you form a sentence in English, you're strengthening these connections. It's like going to the gym for your speaking muscles. Professional athletes don't just play games. They also practice alone to perfect their technique. The same applies to language learning. When you speak English by yourself, you're training your mouth to move correctly, your brain to think in English patterns, and your confidence to grow without external pressure. Studies in neurolinguistics show that speaking out loud, even to yourself, activates the same brain regions used in real conversations. This means that solo practice is literally preparing your brain for actual interactions with other people. The second myth is even more damaging to your progress. Many learners believe they absolutely need a native English speaker to improve. While talking to native speakers can be helpful, it's definitely not essential for becoming fluent. Some of the most successful English learners have reached advanced levels without regular access to native speakers. What matters most is consistent practice and exposure to quality English content. Today, with the internet, you have access to thousands of hours of native English through podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, and online courses. You can listen to native pronunciation, learn natural expressions, and even practice with AI tools that provide instant feedback. The key isn't finding the perfect native speaker to talk to. It's creating consistent opportunities to practice and improve, whether that's through technology, media, or solo exercises. Now for the third myth that makes people feel embarrassed about one of the most effective learning techniques available. Many people think talking to yourself is weird or strange. But here's the reality. Successful language learners talk to themselves all the time. It's not weird, it's strategic. Professional speakers, actors, and even business executives rehearse important presentations by speaking to themselves. They know that practicing alone builds confidence and fluency before they face a real audience. When you talk to yourself in English, you're creating a safe space to experiment with the language. You can try new vocabulary, practice difficult pronunciations, and work on sentence structures without any fear of judgment. This kind of practice actually makes you more confident when you do speak with other people because you've already worked through the challenges in private. The most powerful technique for improving your English speaking alone starts before you even open your mouth. It's called thinking in English, and it's the secret that separates intermediate learners from advanced speakers. Most people make the mistake of thinking in their native language and then translating to English when they speak. This creates a delay that makes conversations feel slow and unnatural. But when you train yourself to think directly in English, speaking becomes automatic and fluid. The process is simpler than you might expect. Start by describing what's happening around you in English thoughts. When you're making breakfast, think, I'm boiling water for coffee. The bread is in the toaster. I need to check my email after eating. When you're walking outside, think, the weather is beautiful today. That dog is really cute. I should call my friend later. These simple descriptions train your brain to operate in English mode instead of constantly switching between languages. You can make thinking in English even more powerful by planning your day using English thoughts. Instead of thinking about your schedule in your native language, try thinking at 9 o'clock I have a meeting. Then I'll work on my project until lunch. This afternoon I need to go shopping. This technique helps English become part of your internal dialogue rather than just something you use when speaking to others. If thinking in complete English sentences feels difficult at first, start with keywords. When you see a red car, think red car instead of translating from your native language. When you feel hungry, think hungry directly in English. Over time, your brain will naturally start filling in complete sentences around these keywords. Set a goal to think in English for just 5 minutes each day, then gradually increase the time as it becomes more natural. The shadowing technique is one of the most effective methods for developing native-like pronunciation and rhythm in English. This technique involves listening to a native English speaker and immediately repeating what they say. Like being their shadow, you're not trying to understand every word perfectly. You're training your mouth and brain to move with the natural flow of English. Choose audio material that's clear and engaging, such as a YouTube video, podcast episode, or movie scene. Start with short clips of about 15 to 20 seconds. Play the audio, listen carefully, then immediately repeat what you heard, trying to match the speaker's pronunciation, speed, and intonation as closely as possible. The goal isn't perfect comprehension, it's perfect imitation. When you shadow effectively, you're not just learning words. You're absorbing the music of English, the way syllables flow together, how sounds connect, and where the natural pauses occur. To get the most benefit from shadowing, try this progression. First, listen to the clips several times without speaking to familiarize yourself with the rhythm and sounds. Then shadow along with subtitles, so you can see the words while hearing them. Finally, shadow without subtitles, focusing purely on the sounds and rhythm. This progression helps you transition from reading comprehension to pure auditory processing. One important tip is to choose material that's slightly below your current level at first. If the speech is too fast or complex, you'll spend more time struggling than learning. As you get comfortable with the technique, gradually work up to faster, more complex content. Professional language coaches often recommend shadowing for at least 10 minutes daily because it simultaneously improves pronunciation, listening skills, and speaking fluency. Speaking out loud by yourself might feel uncomfortable initially, but it's absolutely essential for developing fluency. Your mouth needs physical practice forming English sounds, just like a musician needs to practice finger movements on an instrument. There are 3 particularly effective ways to practice speaking alone, and each one targets different aspects of language development. The first method is descriptive speaking, where you simply describe everything you see around you. Look around your room right now and describe it in English. There's a white wall with a picture hanging on it. My computer is open on a brown desk. Sunlight is coming through the window. This technique helps you practice using present tense naturally and builds your vocabulary for everyday objects and situations. You can do this anywhere, anytime, making it one of the most convenient practice methods available. The second method is storytelling, which helps you practice organizing thoughts and speaking in longer, connected sentences. Tell yourself about something that happened today. Share a childhood memory, or even create a fictional story. Start with simple frameworks like, yesterday I went to the store and something interesting happened, or when I was younger, I remember a time when. Storytelling practice helps you develop the ability to speak in paragraphs rather than just individual sentences, which is crucial for sounding natural in English. The third method is role-playing, where you imagine yourself in different situations and practice the conversations you might have. Pretend you're ordering food at a restaurant, introducing yourself at a job interview, or asking for help in a store. You can even play both sides of the conversation, switching between different voices or perspectives. This helps you prepare for real-world situations while building confidence in your ability to handle various speaking scenarios. Technology has revolutionized how we can practice speaking English alone, and artificial intelligence tools have made it easier than ever to get instant feedback on your pronunciation and fluency. AI-powered language apps can simulate real conversations, providing you with a speaking partner that's available 24 hours a day. These tools can analyze your pronunciation, suggest improvements, and even help you practice specific areas where you struggle. Apps like ChatGPT, Elsa Speak, and various AI conversation tools allow you to have natural discussions on any topic you choose. The advantage of AI practice is that you never have to worry about making mistakes or taking too much time to form your thoughts. You can practice the same conversation multiple times until you feel confident, or explore different topics to expand your vocabulary and expression skills. When using AI tools for speaking practice, set specific goals to make your sessions more effective. Dedicate at least 10 minutes each day to speaking with an AI assistant, focusing on having actual conversations rather than just reading text aloud. Choose different topics each day to challenge yourself with various vocabulary areas. One session might focus on describing your hobbies, another on discussing current events, and another on explaining a process or giving instructions. The key is to actually speak out loud rather than just typing your responses. Many AI tools now have voice input capabilities, so you can have genuine spoken conversations. This gives you practice with real-time speaking while receiving immediate feedback on your pronunciation and grammar. Make technology work for you by treating these AI conversations as seriously as you would treat speaking with a human partner. Recording yourself speaking English and then listening back for self-evaluation is one of the most underused yet highly effective techniques for improving pronunciation and fluency. When you record yourself, you become both the student and the teacher, developing the ability to identify your own areas for improvement. This method works because we often don't hear ourselves accurately when we're speaking in real time. Recording allows you to step back and objectively analyze your English from a listener's perspective. Start by choosing a simple topic and speaking about it for 2 to 3 minutes. You might describe your morning routine, talk about a book you're reading, or explain a hobby you enjoy. Speak naturally as if you're talking to a friend. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just focus on expressing your thoughts clearly. After recording, listen back with a critical but encouraging ear. Pay attention to your pronunciation of individual words, especially sounds that don't exist in your native language. Notice your speaking rhythm and pace. Are you speaking too quickly or too slowly? Are there long pauses where you're searching for words? Observe your intonation patterns. Does your voice go up and down naturally, or does it sound flat and monotonous? Take notes on what you notice, then record yourself again discussing the same topic, trying to improve on the areas you identified. This cycle of recording, analyzing, and re-recording creates rapid improvement because you're getting immediate, honest feedback. Compare your recordings over time to track your progress and celebrate the improvements you've made. Many successful English speakers credit self-recording as the technique that helped them break through to the next level of fluency. Let me share something that will transform how you think about English practice forever. The most successful language learners understand that speaking fluently isn't just about knowing grammar rules or memorizing vocabulary. It's about training your brain to operate automatically in English. And this happens through consistent solo practice more than through occasional conversations with others. When you combine thinking in English, shadowing native speakers, speaking out loud regularly, using AI tools, and recording yourself for feedback, you create a comprehensive training program that addresses every aspect of speaking skills. The beauty of these techniques is that they're completely under your control. You don't need to find a conversation partner, schedule meetings, or depend on anyone else's availability. You can practice anytime, anywhere, for as long as you want. What makes this approach so powerful is that it builds genuine confidence rather than temporary courage. When you've practiced a pronunciation pattern 50 times alone, you don't hesitate when you need to use it in a real conversation. When you've recorded yourself explaining a concept and listened back to improve it, you feel confident discussing that topic with others. When you've spent time thinking in English daily, you don't need translation time during conversations. This is why many professional speakers, business executives, and public figures practice alone even after achieving fluency. They understand that solo practice creates the foundation for confident public speaking. Your English speaking journey doesn't require other people to be successful. It requires commitment, consistency, and the right techniques, all of which you now have. Starting your solo English speaking practice today means taking control of your learning journey in a way that many people never do. You now have 5 specific techniques that you can begin using immediately. Choose one method that appeals to you most and commit to practicing it for just 10 minutes today. Whether that's describing your surroundings in English, shadowing a YouTube video, recording yourself telling a story, having a conversation with an AI assistant, or simply thinking through your daily plans in English. The important thing is to begin. Remember that every fluent English speaker started exactly where you are now. The difference between those who achieve fluency and those who don't isn't talent or access to native speakers. It's the willingness to practice consistently, especially when no one else is around. Your English speaking skills will improve dramatically when you make solo practice a daily habit, because you're giving yourself the gift of unlimited practice time without pressure, judgment, or external limitations. The journey to English fluency is waiting for you, and it starts with your voice, your commitment, and your willingness to speak even when you're the only one listening. Take that first step today, because your future fluent self is counting on the practice you do right now. In private, when it's just you and the English language. Every word you speak alone is building the confidence you'll carry into every future conversation, presentation, and opportunity where English opens doors for you. The power to become fluent has always been in your hands. You just needed to know how to use it.